with News Channel 5 at 6.
Another pool, another tragic drowning, lost a 12-year-old Parma boy. News Channel 5 investigates what went wrong. There's a miracle in the works. Doctors attempt to give conjoined twin sisters separate lives. And the tension in the Middle East is high tonight. Already several attacks, including a car bomb following Sunday's deadly explosion. News Channel 5 at 6 starts right now.
First in Ohio, News Channel 5. This is News Channel 5 at 6.
9 lifeguards are being asked some very tough questions tonight about how a 12-year-old boy drowned on their watch this weekend.
The Strongsville police are involved in the investigation of the tragedy at the Strongsville Recreation Center. News Channel 5 investigator Jody Brooks pulls the police report and asks the rec center director, how does this happen when so many guards are on duty?
Read the back of this shirt, lifeguard, charged with the responsibility to guard the lives of swimmers here at the Strongsville Rec Center pool. But when it came to this 12-year-old, Jeff Zubanowski, no one could. He drowned Friday night. Can you confidently stand here and tell me that your lifeguards did everything that they're trained to do and respond the way they were supposed to on Friday?
Based on the information I have, second and third hand, I can confidently tell you that.
So police investigate. In their initial report, Jeff's father says his son is an excellent swimmer. But while swimming, Jeff said to a friend, "Help me," and then sank underwater. His friend told police he could not get Jeff out of the pool and then began calling for help. Was it too loud inside the pool area for guards to hear?
I don't believe so because, audibility is only one part, or the ability to hear is only one part of being a lifeguard. The most important is not hearing, but it's seeing.
Police don't know how long it took to get a guard's attention. The boy was eventually pulled out of the water and given CPR. Here at the rec center, there is a defibrillator, but it's upstairs away from the pool. It was not used Friday night, and it's not clear why, but the rec center says it will get more. All the guards on duty now weren't here Friday. We're told they're not ready to return to work, struggling with the loss of this young boy. High school grief counselors met with the lifeguards here at the Strongsville Rec Center most of the day today. Now, we talked with the city law director, who's reluctant to say much, but does say that the city waits for a final police report. We also asked him about the cause of death. The coroner says a drowning, but the city does wait for the autopsy report, hoping that that reveals what may have happened to the young boy before he went underwater. Tanya?
Jody, it sounds like this case is far from over because, of course, the family wants questions and you're working to get more answers for them.
You're right.
Okay, thank you very much, Jody.
Missing for 6 weeks, a Lorain teenage girl is a suspected runaway now, but that's not all that troubles the girl's parents and police tonight. 15-year-old Jennifer Bender ran away from home back in June. Police suspect she hooked up with somebody she met on the internet. Last April, Bender, who was 14 at the time, rendezvoused with this fellow, 20-year-old James Gadrow. Police say Gadrow is not involved with Bender's current disappearance, but Bender's father wants police to question that man.
Because they did talk on the computer a lot. They were in the same chat rooms. If he could give us any clues at all as to who she may have been talking to in the chat rooms, and they promised that they were going to get in contact with us.
Police say Bender may have gone to Pennsylvania to meet a man named Nick there, but all police leads thus far have been dead ends. Mentor police continue to be on the lookout for a man who tried to take a 14-year-old girl last week. They just gave News Channel 5 this sketch today. This man in his 40s, about 5'10" and weighing 190 pounds, was driving a white van in the Lakeshore Boulevard Route 306 region of Mentor when he asked the girl to get in. She immediately called her father and the police. Now, police are also looking for this man. He's accused of trying to take a Lorain 5-year-old right from her front porch. The girl says when the man tried to get her in his car, she ran into the house screaming, just like her mom told her to do just a few days ago.
It has some people in one Cleveland neighborhood ready to pack up and move, and they say it's because of who has moved in. News Channel 5's Tracy Carlos went along with sheriff's deputies as neighbors got the news that a sexual predator is living nearby.
Steps are being taken to make sure that if you live near a sexual predator or a habitual sex offender in Cuyahoga County, you know it. Sheriff's deputies are going door to door notifying neighbors that a sexual predator has moved into this Hosmer Street neighborhood.
We have to notify all the immediate neighbors by law that there is a sexual predator that's moved into the neighborhood.
Robbie and Lisa Dye have 3 children, and they're concerned.
I'm glad that you notified me, but actually I'm not glad that I know that there's a sexual predator that lives right across the street from me.
Deputies are going house to house. If no one's home, they're leaving the information behind.
It's really, really terrifying that he is in this neighborhood on my street. I got to get from over here.
In May, state lawmakers decided to beef up Megan's law. Now people living within 1,000 feet of a sexual predator or habitual sex offender will be notified they're in the neighborhood.
Before, we were notifying the neighbors to the left, to the right, and across the street. So now in Cuyahoga County, that could be anywhere from 3 to 5 blocks.
But not everyone is happy about the sheriff's department being here. This is a nephew of the man who's been labeled a sexual predator. He didn't want his face shown on camera, but says,
Bible do say, forgive and forget. Everybody deserves another chance.
The sheriff's department will eventually send letters instead of going door to door. Once they have a computer program in place, it will map out the exact 1,000 feet. In the meantime, if you would like to see who is on a registered sex offender list, log on to newsnet5.com, scroll down to our story, Deputies Warn Neighbors About Sexual Offender, and you can log on to your county to see who is on the list. Ted, back to you.
Good advice. Okay, Tracy, thank you very much. A former school bus driver convicted of having sex with junior high school students learned his fate today from a Lorain County judge. 55-year-old Andrew Bishop was sentenced to 28 years in prison for rape and extortion involving several teenage cheerleaders whose bus he drove. Prosecutors said Bishop listened to cell phone calls the girls made and then threatened to tell the personal information he learned to their parents unless they would have sex with him. Police arrested Bishop back in 1997, but legal proceedings dragged the case out until this time. James Traficant has a brand new home tonight. U.S. Marshals moved the former congressman from his jail cell in Summit County to federal prison in White Deer, Pennsylvania. Now, Traficant got 8 years behind bars, as you know. This means, however, something you don't know, Traficant will not be running for re-election to Congress in Youngstown. You must live in the state for which you are running.
A missing boater from Vermilion is now considered to be dead. Coast Guard search crews searched Lake Erie for several more hours this morning between Marblehead and Kelly's Island. They found nothing and called off their search. 38-year-old David Rush was reported missing on Saturday when his sailboat was found drifting with no one on it. An environmental note now to tell you about. Not everything in Lake Erie is moving. In fact, there's what's called a dead zone. That's an oxygen-depleted section of the lake. It has Ohio Senator George Voinovich very concerned. The senator met with members of the Coast Guard, EPA, and local lake experts on that subject today. Lake water samples show the reduced amounts of oxygen pose a threat to lake fish. Senator Voinovich said we have to act now before it's too late.
We cannot let anything diminish or set us back in our efforts to maintain and improve Lake Erie's water quality. From the testimony submitted for today's hearing, I am very concerned that we may be on the edge of sliding behind rather than moving ahead.
Senator Voinovich said he would take today's recommendations back to Washington and ask the state Senate's environmental committees for more funding to keep Lake Erie clean. His peers call him Batman. That's because Ravenna City Councilman Dick Leonard wants the city to build bat houses at all parks. Now, the reason is to eat up all the mosquitoes and keep possible West Nile virus out of the area. Folks are lukewarm to the idea so far, but a curator at the Akron Zoo says the idea would work because bats do reduce the mosquito population.
If that works, bring on the bats. Governor Bob Taft just made it easier for traffic violators to keep their driver's license in the state of Ohio. In the case of a speeding ticket, for example, let's say, the new law removes all previous violations. For example, if you receive a speeding ticket for going 85 in a 65 zone, well, you'd receive 2 points on your license, whether it's your first offense or your fourth. The law also lessens the penalty for somebody found guilty of being drunk in a parked car, just a possible fine now instead of 3 days in jail. This new law takes effect come January 1st of the new year. Having a problem with a landlord or perhaps a contractor?
Grab a pen and paper because we're going to have a phone number for you next on how you can get in touch with troubleshooter Chris Caswell. Also, a car bombing, roadblocks, missiles fired, all responses today from both sides in the unrest of the Middle East.
And doctors performed the operation of their lives in efforts to save 2 little ones here. Details on this medical miracle in the works coming up next.
Israeli helicopter gunships fired missiles at the hideouts of the terrorist group Hamas today. That was hours after Israeli troops sealed off all Palestinian travel into the West Bank region. And it didn't take long for Palestinians to retaliate. 2 suicide bombers were en route to an attack when the bomb inside their car exploded, killing them both. All of today's action comes on the heels of Sunday's deadly suicide bombing of a passenger bus in Jerusalem, which killed 13 people. The White House rejected Saddam Hussein's offer to let members of Congress tour suspected biological, chemical, and nuclear weapon sites inside Iraq. The Bush administration says it simply wants Hussein removed from power. Both Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill want the same, but the 2 parties cannot agree on how to remove Hussein or when. Democrats want the president to ask Congress for permission to use U.S. troops in Iraq. GOP members say Congress already gave the president authority to act after the September 11th attacks. Ted?
Tanya, these kids are definitely in our thoughts and prayers right now. It's a true medical miracle happening right now at this hour in California. A team of surgeons is attempting to separate 2 twin sisters joined at the skull. Aren't they adorable? The intense operation must separate blood vessels and bone. The girls' brains are now fused. Doctors say the entire procedure could take up to 24 hours to complete, but they believe the 1-year-old girls have a very good chance of living through this ordeal. It's technology to the rescue for shoppers who have trouble finding that perfect piece of clothing in their size or in the right color. Efforts are now underway to develop smart shopping chips. They are about the size of a buttonhole and would be sewn into clothing tags. The chips, with the help of a wireless inventory tracker, would then help the salesperson locate the size you're looking for in another store around town. You can learn more about the smart shopping chip by logging on to newsnet5.com and then clicking on the technology icon. And since we're talking about all this stuff right now, News Channel 5 is very much on your side as always, helping you with your consumer problems. All you have to do is call the troubleshooter tip line at 431-3457. Chris Caswell and members of the On Your Side troubleshooter staff will be happy to help you get your consumer problems resolved. Tanya, back over to you.
All right, Ted, the cool breeze out there felt great after the blistering heat yesterday. Meteorologist Brad Sussman joins us next with a complete and accurate look of the rest of the week. We'll find out if it will be cool. It's nice and breezy right now there at the golf course in Elyria, where the Nev Chandler Memorial Classic is going on to benefit the American Cancer Society. Your forecast is next.
WNCX and Extreme Radio, part of the News Channel 5 Radio Weather Network.
All right.
I thought it was going to be more of a stormy day today, but it did stay a little bit on the muggy side, didn't it?
Right. There were some isolated thunder showers out there, mainly to the south, and we did have a lot of rain around the area. Of course, I was out at the Nev Chandler at Spring Valley Country Club, playing through the rain. Had a couple of scattered showers out there, but I can tell you right now, it's turning out to be a dynamite evening throughout much of the News Channel 5 viewing area. Let's see how we did numbers-wise today. 85 and 74, averaging 81 and 62 this time of year. And we're not going to see temperatures in the 80s for a couple of days. Scroll down to the bottom of the page there, notice the rain coming in at 300s. Let's head to your neighborhood because we did have the scattered showers out there early on. 1200s from Medina, also Ashland University and Cedar Point, and then 500s from Boston Mills, 700s at the Akron Zoo. Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. Rain is over for now, 400s, what they got in their rain bucket. Let's head outside right now to Elyria. Look at the beautiful sunshine out there. Oh, drying out those greens, making that ball just sit right down. It's a beautiful afternoon on a beautiful golf course, and I know everybody's having fun. Temperature right now at Hopkins Airport, 78, humidity 68%, wind out of the north at 13, pressure 30.06. Where is the cool air? It's still up to the north, but it will be making its way down there. Currently 80 in Ashtabula, 85 in Toledo, 82 Detroit, 73. Here's the cool air. Green Bay, 75, Traverse City, 73, and you can see from the satellite picture with the radar on top. All the showers have pressed down to the south, and we're left with clear skies across the lower peninsula of Michigan. That means for us, we will be seeing clearing skies tonight, as you saw from that live picture just moments ago. So we'll call it partly cloudy around the area. Let's go to Doppler 5000 right now to show you we do have the scattered showers still remaining out there just to the north and east of Canton. Folks, North Canton might see an isolated shower later on this evening. We'll keep our eyes out for the big Pro Football Hall of Fame game. Going to be happening tonight right here on News Channel 5. All right, back to the weather maps we go. Front is across Ohio right now, bisecting the state. Earlier today was just to our north. As it presses south, what's going to happen? It's going to drag the clouds. It's going to drag the showers with it. Tomorrow we'll be left with mostly sunny skies and much milder temperatures. Our forecast, 64 degrees. Again, showers will be ending. Fair skies otherwise. Northeasterly winds 10 to 20. Tomorrow's going to be a breezy day with winds out of the northeast 15 to 25. And look at this high temperature tomorrow. So comfortable, 72 degrees. Advisory out on Lake Erie because of those high winds. Water temperature 74 degrees. 5-day forecast shapes up like this. 72 tomorrow. Lots of sunshine, warming to 75 on Wednesday, 78 Thursday. Steady temperature rise into Friday, 81, and then Saturday back to 84 degrees. But if you didn't get rain tonight, you're going to be out of luck for the next 5 days. SunSmart's UV index, it'll be a 9 for tomorrow.
What a delightful week this is going to be, okay, Brian?
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Hey, boy, what a big night here on News Channel 5. Monday Night Football is back. The Houston Texans take on the New York Giants at the annual Hall of Fame game in Canton. Make certain you stay up after the game for News Channel 5 at 11. Lee Jordan's in the newsroom with a preview. Hi, Lee.
Hi, Ted. Hey, big changes coming up for Browns fans who go to the stadium for a game. It's a story you'll only see here on News Channel 5. Also, mopping floors is a time-consuming, dirty job. But how about if we could make your life easier? Learn the best way to save money and time right after the game. Plus, Tanya Harding back in court, the former figure skating champ facing charges. Join us tonight for that story and much more after Monday Night Football. Seems so weird to say that, Ted.
What did she do this time?
Well, you're going to have to find out tonight at 11.
I'll stay up and watch. Thanks. Even though it's a preseason game, there is a whole lot of focus on tonight's Hall of Fame game down in our hometown.
Yes, right in Canton, and Jeff Gravely is live outside of the Hall of Fame, Jeff, as the festivities continue.
It definitely is. You know, we got a couple of debuts tonight, got a couple of homecomings. The Houston Texans play their first game in franchise history, and they bring back a couple of guys familiar to Northeast Ohio. First game for the Texans, first game for John Madden in the ABC Monday Night booth. We've got you covered from Canton coming up next.
This portion of the news is brought to you by American Family Insurance.
Well, the Browns had a chance to review the tape of Saturday's scrimmage against Buffalo, and it still showed that, yeah, the offense was out of sync and not really outstanding. But what the guys are doing right now, they're working on things and trying different schemes to see what's going to be the right fit. So there's no game planning going on. So what you're seeing right now is just a lot of experimentation. So really no panic after their first scrimmage against another team.
Once again, telling everybody, don't panic. Got 4 more weeks. So, you know, all we're going to do is come in every day, work on the little things, the little details. And like I was telling everyone else, once our offensive line understands the concepts as a unit, you know, you don't have to have Pro Bowlers across the board. As long as we're all on the same page and we know what we're going to do in the snap of the ball, things will happen.
All right, well, this Saturday, the Browns get a chance to work out some more on the offense in Minnesota against the Vikings. Well, tonight's Hall of Fame football game between Houston and the Giants brings back a couple of Texans who know a thing or two about Northeast Ohio. Former Browns head coach Chris Palmer is now the offensive coordinator for Houston. He'll lead them against the Giants tonight, and their rookie quarterback David Carr for Houston. One of the guys that Coach Palmer is trying to get into the offense is former Buckeye running back Jonathan Wells. Now, Jonathan missed June minicamp because Ohio State was still in school, but he's playing catch-up pretty well here in these two-a-days.
I'm expecting the fans, you know, give me a little encouragement tomorrow, you know, me being a Buckeye, you know, so I'm looking forward to just coming out here and having a good game.
He's a big physical back. I think he's smart. I think he's going to be a good pass protector, and we'll look forward to seeing him play through this preseason because we think he's a talented young man.
Well, tonight's game also marks the first Monday night telecast of analyst John Madden. He'll team up with Al Michaels to form what could be the best combo in football.
Al Michaels and I, we haven't had any practice or anything. You know, it's one of those things, we never worked together. And they asked me if I wanted to do some kind of rehearsal game, and I said, no, I don't think so. And they asked Alan. Al didn't either. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Monday night because that's truly going to be the first time we ever work together.
Do you enjoy broadcasting as much as you did coaching, and how are the two similar in preparation and execution?
I enjoy it. I enjoy broadcasting, and I think that's why I never went back to coaching, because I retired when I was 42 years old. I started out when I was 32 years old, coached for 10 years, and retired. Then when I started broadcasting, broadcasting really took the place of coaching. I didn't know that that would happen. But had that not happened, I would have gone back to coaching.
Well, when you talk about top sportscasters, you have to put the late Nev Chandler in that mix. Well, today, some of Nev's former colleagues and friends teed it up at Spring Valley Country Club out in Elyria, including our own Chris Miller, who I think he hit something in the woods, maybe a squirrel, a tree, or it could have been some kind of wildlife. Not very good. Hey, it's all for great to benefit the American Cancer Society. Brad Sussman dropped in that. He said it was a birdie putt, but it was a bogey putt. And Matt Underwood out there as well. It's all for a good cause in memory of an outstanding man, Nev Chandler. That's it from Canton. We'll have more news in a minute.
Troubleshooter.
Well, soon you'll be able to slap a patch onto your arm and get a cholesterol check by watching what the color of the patch turns. It takes about 3 minutes. The FDA has not yet approved the cholesterol patch for over-the-counter sale.
Finally tonight, some people I've noticed are a little cynical about the big pay raise given to Cleveland school boss Barbara Byrd Bennett. They even say that going to New York for a job interview there was just a ploy to sweeten her new contract here. Well, maybe it was. So what? That would be missing the point. In all the years I've been reporting on Cleveland schools, I cannot remember a single person who has helped our children as much as Ms. Byrd Bennett. She has moved mountains just to stop the neglect and the atrophy in our schools. If she can merely keep the schools in this city on the same positive growth curve that started when she got here, then Barbara Byrd Bennett will be worth every single penny of her new $250,000+ contract and more. Thanks for joining us. That's News Channel 5 at 6. Good night.